I've generated millions in sales for clothing brands in 2026, and I'm gonna show you the exact media buying process to run our ads. This is Media Buying 101, and to introduce myself, my name is Wilson. I've generated so much fucking money for clothing brands over the past year, and now I'm gonna show you the exact strategy that we use. And at the end of this video, I'll be giving away a free creative format that's been working over and over again. So stay to the end because that's so much sauce and it's been used by some of the top brands in the market right now. I'll run you through all the systems, the 4 pillars, understanding of ads, creatives, the strategy, and how to actually sell with your ads. So we run through the funnel, metrics, targeting, auctioning. We run through how Andromeda works, the hit rates, testing, scaling, retargeting, psychology of selling, optimizations, and the factors into running ads. Phase 1, we're going to go into the actual understanding of ads. Your customer is going to click on an ad, and then it brings them to the website, and then through the website and the sale, there's a phase where I call the converting phase, and this has a ton of factors into it, and it's the main thing that's going to be selling. It's not your ad, it's not your product, it's a conversion phase. So it includes speed, objection handling, positioning, relatability. It's all about positioning your brand. And how you do this, which I'll go into a bit deeper later on, but objection handling, for example, you want to have product pictures in there so they know it looks good on them. You want to have size charts so they don't have any objections with sizes, those type of things. Now what you have to understand is that your brand is a fire, and the more you run ads is gas. When you run ads, you're pouring gas onto the fire, but if you have no fire and your organic sucks, then you're not going to convert anything. Ads are only an enhancer of your organic. It isn't some magical way to make more money. If you have 1,000 followers and $1,000 months, then ads won't get you to 10K. Post content if you're in that phase. Now onto metrics. Everything I ordered properly so you understand best when we reach the end. Each part ties directly into each other. Now there's hundreds of metrics out there, but I only wrote down the 4 you need to be profitable, excluding unnecessary metrics like amount spent, results, etc., that type of stuff. But go over CPA, CAC, and CPR. These essentially are all the same thing. Cost per acquisition, customer acquisition cost, cost per result. Same thing, how much it costs you to get a purchase. And that's your CPA. ROAS, I'm sure you know what this means. Return on ad spend. For each dollar you spend, how much are you getting back? CPM, cost per milli. So how much does it cost you to get 1,000 impressions? And then CPC, cost per click. How much does it cost for a customer to click on your ad? And that's literally it. All you need to understand and to run ads. And then we'll go into auctions. Now it determines what ads are shown to users across Facebook. So they maximize value by spending into the best winner. So it's the one with the highest total value, the best bid, the best action rates, the best ad quality. Meta has a system in there where they automatically rank your ad quality. So this is based off retention, quality of the hooks, captions, etc., sales, all of that. Now let's go into targeting. This is the final step of actually understanding your ads. So Meta launches to a bunch of intent buyers historically known to purchase, so people who have bought before. And when you run a broad audience, this is what it's gonna look like when you test. You'll run audience to just this whole range, and then a small segment of this, if you're testing correctly, is gonna be a winner segment, which is the group of people who actually like your brand. And then what Meta does is it takes all the spend from here and delegates it into that winning segment. That way, it's only targeting people who are more likely to buy your brand. Now on to phase 2, understanding creatives. Now creatives are your ad itself. It's the content of your ads, the copy, the picture, the video. And why is this important? It's important because it's what drives the click, and good creatives equals money. You have lower CPM, lower CPCs, and costs. Now we have to keep in mind, creatives have changed a bit since the update of Andromeda. Meta uses the creative to target based off content now. To break this down, let's take GLD for example. Just look at this ad. Real gold always. Strong links, never fades. Just look at it and then think about who it targets. Meta's gonna see this itself with the new NVIDIA super chip, and then it's gonna target based off this text, real gold. It's gonna target gold jewelry purchasers. So people who have historically known to purchase silver jewelry won't get this ad. But for me, example, I buy gold jewelry, I'll get this ad. And so it targets gold jewelry purchases, recent searches for heavy chains, history of strong link chains, etc. And this is how it determines who to target. For example, I love clothes. Once I bought a hoodie off of Cold Culture, I got flooded with Cold Culture ads just because they know I'm a customer and I'm historically known to purchase. So I'll get it again. Now, for example, on the contrast, this one, Iced Alpha Era, silver iced out. So it's going to target flashy jewelry purchases. So recent searches for iced out watches or history of iced out jewelry. Super simple. But what you take away from this is the entire goal is to find winning creatives. So you launch a test, 5 to 10 creatives, and then off that test you find the winners, and then you find the pattern. So pattern recognition is huge in testing. You have a winning ad, figure out what works behind it. Is it the hook? Is it the content? Is it the text? Is it the product? Is it the positioning? All of that. You need to understand this so next time you can recreate that ad and then launch 5 to 10 more of that test. That way you have an infinite pipeline of money going straight into your ad account. Now understand this, it's not about volume here. You might think just because you post like 100 ads, you'll get a ton of winners. You could launch 100 creatives and get 2 winners, and that's a 2% hit rate. On the contrast, you could test 10 creatives and get 3 winners. That's a 30% hit rate. Hit rate equals your percentage of a winning ad. So off of how many you test, that's your hit rate. Now you want to dial in a higher quality ads. Forget what everybody tells you, because a lot of people are gonna think that you just need creative volume. Oh, launch a ton of ads. People will buy off of that. No, just launch what works off the pass, and then you'll have a higher percentage of actually getting winners. Now let's dive into the strategy here, because the strategy has 3 parts, which I'll break down very thoroughly. The first part I want to get into is the very first campaign you should ever be running when you're starting ads. Testing campaign. Broad test creatives. This is gonna be evergreen. You'll never stop running this because you always want a pipeline of winners. So you want to broad test creatives. Should be the first campaign ever. $50 budget. If you're scared to spend more than $50 on ads daily, then you shouldn't be running ads in the first place. That's simple. Someone spending at $50 a day will learn 5x faster than someone spending $10 a day. It's super simple. So you just want to do audience testing here with the creatives I just explained to you. And $50 a day is the sweet spot. I'm telling you, if you overspend, Meta's gonna not know what the fuck to do with your money, and that's a big issue. So then it overspends on useless audiences. It doesn't give it time to actually optimize, especially if you're new to running ads. So then once you test, you'll have a few winners, and that's super important. Again, pattern recognition. Figure out what worked. Why did you get winners? Winners I classify as 5+ purchases. If they have more than this, then they're a winner. But make sure they're also profitable. So I actually just uploaded this for you guys so you could take a look live and real time on how it actually worked. So you see how all of these got spent, right? But none of them actually pulled purchases except this one. This was the very first one to pull purchases. And what we learned was that this worked. And guess what? We had more images just like that. So we ran more of that, and look at the results. So 4 purchases, 9 purchases, 11 purchases. Do you see the pattern here? They're all in front of the same background, in front of the same sign. There's a sign here. They all had the same shirt on, and then they all have the same model. And that's what we did. So we did the exact same thing over and over, and that way we pulled in around 26 purchases at a $200 AOV. And that's insane, right? We generated over thousands off of a few hundreds. And that's essentially how you test. So what do you do after you get those winners? Now, once you get winners, again, scaling. You want to duplicate winners in order to keep the metadata. So that includes comments, learning phase, etc. Optimizations, how it knows your customer. Duplicate it, and then it's going to be better. So you want to put it into a campaign, same exact settings. Higher budget for more volume. So of course your ROAS is going to drop. I hope you understand that. But if you're pulling in, let's say 50,000 at a 2x ROAS, you gain an extra 50 grand. But if you get a 10x ROAS at a 1 grand, you gain 9,000. So understand that ROAS doesn't mean anything in scaling campaigns. It's more about profitability and how much you're making. Money in and money out. Understand that. That's the main concept you need. Money in, money out. That's what you need. And then let it run its course. and then you keep putting new creatives into the testing campaign, and then moving them into the scaling campaign, and then let it run its course, and then turn off any ads that slowly die out frequency. And that's literally it. Go straight into retargeting. So retargeting, you'll get way lower cost per acquisitions, and that's great because you're targeting warmer prospects. And this is huge because with this testing, you're testing a bunch of cold audiences. And these people don't know who your brand is. They just know, Meta just knows that they're more likely to buy. So once you do this, you target them because they're already brand aware. So you don't waste all these cold audiences. You instead funnel them into retargeting, which is Instagram engagers over the past year, Facebook engagers over the past year, website visitors over 180 days. And that way, they're warmer prospects, they know your brand, and they're gonna get sold once you run these ads. Now, the creatives here do play a little differently, because imagine somebody is looking at your product on the street. Would you pitch them the same way that you would pitch a random person walking on the street? No, because the person holding your product is already interested. So you would just be like, walk up and be like, hey, are you interested in this? But a person walking by, it's going to be a lot harder to actually approach them, right? Yeah, and that's the whole thing about retargeting. And then we'll go up here into how to sell. So understanding your ICP is the most important thing here. Understand their values and their dream state. So their current situation has to lead to their dream state, and your product has to be in between that. Let's take Nike, for example. So Nike, you see their page, it's literally all professional athletes. So golf, hockey, golf, and they also partner with Jordan. So baseball as well here. But Jordan, basketball, a huge brand. So they know that their ICP is aspiring athletes, people who want to be like these people. And they position their product in these people so that they see the ICP who is their customer and their dream state. They see the dream state, they see all these people in Nike, and in their eyes, the only thing in between them and the dream state they want to get to is the product. It's super simple psychology, and that's basically it. And now I'll dive into the free creative formats as well. Don't forget, but Acne Studios, this is one of them. It's literally just a white frame and then the product inside, and then the brand name on the bottom. Represent does this as well. 100 million generated in the last year off Shopify. So again, product, white background, a frame, and then brand name in black. Super easy, super simple setup. But that's basically it on how to actually run ads for your clothing brand 101. And if you have any questions on this, just DM me on Instagram, Will Player, and I'll answer them in DMs.